So it's been a really busy morning. This is the last project. I'm sure you're knackered and need a cup of coffee and a cookie or some dinner. I'm starving. We're going to work on complementary colours using this image by Ray Biffcliffe, who obviously is incredibly talented. He says, if I get the image upside down, I apologise, I've just realised. Make sure that it's this way up, where you can see through the canyon hole. Now, it's very red and very orange, and there's a little bit of green in it. We're going to be using complementary colours to summarise this image. So, complementary colours are colours that sit opposite each other on the colour wheel. Therefore, blue and orange are complementary colours, red and green are complementary colours, yellow and purple are complementary colours. This means when they sit next to each other, they become very pleasing. It's meant to be about how they overwork the cells at the back of the eye on the retina and the cones and rods. If you want to start getting into biology, Google it. Now we're going to work on the same process, so we're going to take our white and we're going to get this drawing down first of all. Reminds me of like an eye we've got down here. Then we've got like canyon, it's kind of hooping around over here, a little canyon, and then you can see the horizon just in the distance. That hooks down, we've got the rock sitting here, and we've got these gorgeous stone textures that are going to build up as well. And we're kind of on that kind of level, aren't we? Ultimately. Goes up a little bit. So that's a very simple sketch. I'm going to slide my hand down and get that drawing a little bit more refined. If you want it to be a really good artwork, you can clean it up with a putty rubber as well. Bring that in there. These remind me of all the treasure hunting TV programs that seem to be on at the moment. Everyone's treasure hunting in the Wild West, it seems, whenever I turn on the TV. Right, we've got that sunshine that's just coming up over here. So let's get that rock shape up and in. There's a bit of rock there, and then it's come back in. Curved shapes, rocks sitting around up over there, down, we've got again these curvation lines just up there. Okay, so very simple, like I said, take your putty rubber, give it a bit of a blitz, so that you know what lines you want to keep and what lines you want to actually work over the top of. A lot of the time with pastels you're going to be working over the top of most things because it's such a layering medium, but it is good to not get too much cross contamination, spoil your colour mixing. Okay, for a 5-second job it's worthwhile. Now we're going to be doing complementary colours, so you can see here what we've got here. We've got a lot of red and we've got some yellow. Where we've got red, we're going to use green to really show up how sharp the red is. So I've got red and I've got green here. You'll find that different greens and different reds go recording. Oh, that looks good. I want you to trust your eye. Look, For instance, if I put that red next to that lime green, I'm not sure about that. But again, if I've got this red and I put that red against the lime green, that looks a bit better actually. So the red and green combination, the blue and orange and the yellow all depends on the type of tone of those shades you are working with. For instance, if I get that orange and I put it next to the blue, I'm not so sure about that. So it's not a perfect rule, it just gives you a straight off answer. Okay, we're going to work with yellow to start off with, and I'm going to start putting in that yellow where I can see it. Probably going to be the first and the last time I say that, because we're going to have a little bit more fun with this than we normally do. Still keep your mind open, play around with the type of marks, consider how you're holding the yellow and the type of gestural shapes that you can get on the paper. I'm going to put in a little bit of the yellow along the top here. So this yellow bleeds into the red in the picture. That's called harmonics. So it's going yellow, orange, red. Red and yellow mixed together make orange in the middle. You get a nice gentle tonal change. I'm going to whack in a little bit down here. Now because I put the red in, I want to put the purple in. And my purple is going to be a really, you're going to decide what purple you want here. Do you want to go dark? Do you want to go light? Are you more plummy or are you more lilac shade? So I quite like the plum. I think that looks pretty good with that yellow. I'm going to bring that in and I'm going to start putting in some of my shadows with my plummy lilac. Now the idea of working this method is that you sit the colours next to each other occasionally throughout the picture. You can see here while I'm working down here, because I've got these shadows, come into the yellow tone on my reference picture. So immediately I'm sitting two complementaries next to one another. Bring that in there. I'm bring in a little bit of shadow up there, and I'm going to bring in a little bit of shadow down here. Now it's kind of nice to sometimes mix it up, so you might want to swap purple and have a different type of purple sitting next to your yellow in certain areas. Don't feel like you have to stick with the same purple that you started off with. Be playful and experiment. Now what you'll find when you're doing this is that if you put a purple into the yellow, it will slightly cool the saturation, so the yellow will not appear as bright and harsh. You do have to get the combination of how much yellow you're putting in there for it to work. Because if you put in too much purple, purple's a very strong colour, you will obliterate your yellow. A little bit more of that lilac-y shade, that's quite nice. So I've got my yellow down and my purple. Then I'm going to come in with my orange, which means I'm going to be using blue, because remember our blue goes with our orange. And I'm going to work my orange into some of my yellow, building up my harmonics. You can see here I've picked up some of the purple and it will really deaden. If you want to do very realistic artworks, it's important that you do that, because a lot of the time with colour it's too harsh for the real world when you're dealing with pastels. A little bit of my hair coming up here. that means that I'm going to wet my blue in. So I've got a few different blues. I might hold my yellow in my hand and look at my blues and see which one I prefer. I rather like this blue. I think that looks gorgeous with the orange. So I'm going to wet that up. And remember, the blues are a lot like the purple. They're good for shadowy areas. Build up a little bit of detail with it. Okay, so now we've got left our red and our grey. So I'm going to get that red and put that in next to my orange, again creating that harmonics. Now the red's going into the orange because orange is made from red. The red also would look great next to a blue, purple, because purple is made from the red too. I might come back and lift in a little bit of purple just to give myself that opportunity and that effect. Remember, the first time you lay it down doesn't mean you can't come back and add other colours in. Take my purple, my green, sorry, and I'm going to put some green down generally where I've got my shadow at. And I'm putting the green next to the red, so I'm getting that complementary colour, and the green into the blue, which means that the blue makes green it'll look naturally pleasing. It's going to look like a bit of a rainbow picture, this one, but it's giving you the idea of the colour theory rather than anything else. Adding a little bit of green down here. Put it up around here. Now everything's going to be about blending. Let's actually introduce a bit of a sky tone. So I'll go in for kind of a white, quite harsh that sunlight. That white in there. Just so it can wet the picture as a whole, it's a lot easier that way. I'm going to bleed out that sunshine yellow that I put in, purposely to cross-contaminate my sky tone. And I'll work my silhouette. I'm going to fuzz out horizon using the white, so I'm mixing it all on purpose and it's just softening out the tones. So we've got a very loose abstract image. I'm going to come in with some creams to cream up some of my rocks down here. So don't feel like you can't use other colours. I'm using the cream, and then you can use browns. Depends on how colourful you fancy taking your artwork. The cream acts a lot like the white. You can use it to bleed in, build up texture, take down a little bit of tone if it's too harsh. It's very forgiving. Now with the pastels, be careful about cross-contamination because you'll find that you're getting a little bit purple. So you might need to turn your pastel around to make sure that you're still getting the kind of colour that you want. I'm going to lighten up some of these because I think it'll look better. Just give it a little bit more sharper red. You should be getting something like this. Let's just take that dust off. And you might find then you can work it up to darker tones within those shadows and those complementary shades, or you can take your black and just work into it. Okay, just work up that background a little bit more. Sharpen up some sunshine. And you should have something like this. You can see it's really fun, it's really funky. It's got potential to work up much higher. Hopefully you've learnt loads, you've had some fun, probably got seriously messy. I know I have, but that's all part of getting down and dirty with soft pastels. Have a lovely day and I'll see you next time.